Hello and welcome to the Playandroid game reviews. I am Daniel and today I'll be showing you RedWall Cubed by 45 developers. It's an arcade game and as you can see I already started it and you can see the logo, the letters of it in red and this dark gray, and you can see the background in white with this gray street running into the distance. This is all there is to the starting screen, and you see of course the big play button in the middle, and let's just start up the game and see what it's all about. Here we have the game and you can see, okay, I already lost this one. You can see the street from the main menu going into the distance here as well, and you have this little red cube you're controlling and it's advancing along the street, leaves a trail of red particles behind, and there are obstacles in your way coming along the street in your way, and you have to dodge them, have to get past them, and well, as you see I'm not really good at it. So let's just try a couple more times. No. Okay. And as you might have seen, it's basically kept in the same colors as the starting screen. There's this red and gray color going on, battery warning, let's just ignore that. And you have a pure white background. And the street or road or whatever it is goes into the distance, it vanishes into the distance. We don't know where it's going. I haven't seen the end yet. I don't think there is an end actually. And this is just how the game is basically set up. Okay. Very minimalistic, very reduced. It's only basically 3 colors, or well, white isn't actually a color, but yeah, very reduced color palette, and it looks quite futuristic, like you might expect some, I don't know, future interface from movies or something to look like. And I kind of felt reminded of the aesthetics of Tron because of its reduced design. And you have only this cube. It's the only shapes appearing are cubes or rectangles or what have you. Nothing round here. Everything has edges. Okay, I'm not doing that well because, well, as you know, talking and playing at the same time isn't that easy, but I'll just try again and again and fail every time. You have the score up top. It's the only thing when it comes to interface that's just showing up in the game. And of course you have your control buttons on the right side. And this is basically all there is. This is quite nice because the reduced interface really makes you focus or lets you focus on the game, because there's nothing going on, no clutter, no unnecessary things obscuring your view on the game. And no, I didn't make it there. Okay, well, it runs quite smoothly on our hardware here. And this is nice because I think a skill-based game like this needs to run perfectly. There shouldn't be any lag, and yeah, that's a good thing actually. Of course, well, why wouldn't it be? What I thought after playing a while, it might get boring after a while because it's always the same. It's always those red walls coming at you with the white background and your red cube. Might really get boring after a while, and it looks quite a bit monotone, and yeah, could be more exciting. And I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but there is actually music playing in the background, and original music, and there's a sound notifying you when you hit a wall. So indication sounds, some music. Yeah, that's basically all there is in terms of sounds, and there's nothing more going on. Okay. You see, it's quite difficult. And yeah, it's basically, in terms of sound, as much reduced as it is in terms of graphics. And I've talked about the controls before. You see the scheme or your UI element on the right, and you just have to hold it and drag it along the screen to make your cube move up or down. And it's very responsive, there's no input lag, and just like the fluid animations and the fluid gameplay and fluid graphics, this is one key feature you need to have in skill-based games. It's a responsive control scheme, and this game has it. Works perfectly for what you have to do. No input lag whatsoever. And yeah, this is basically one of the best things about the game. It's its input control. Yeah. And it works pretty intuitive. I mean, you have those arrows pointing up and down, and you basically know from the start what to do. There's no mistaking this for anything else than controls. In terms of originality, the game fares slightly worse, because what you're actually playing, and this is kind of sad because I thought, well, maybe this could have been something bit more original. What you're actually playing is some kind, or it felt like some kind of Flappy Bird, but in a 3D environment. Because basically it's the whole setup of moving along a fixed path and avoiding the obstacles, as you see. Of course, you don't have to tap every time to make the cube levitate, but the game itself is much more challenging, I guess, and it's very fast-paced. And well, while Flappy Bird doesn't do this, it's, well, the principle of the game is the same. I mean, you have to just move along, avoid obstacles as long as possible, and, well, get a higher score. This is all there is to the game, sadly. There are a lot of games like it, and a lot of games or skill-based games out there, and they all try to emulate the Flappy Bird formula in some way. This is, I found, to be no exception, but it employs a very unique and very interesting, well, design, overall design, game design. I searched in, or looked for other games in the Google Play Store, and I didn't find anything that looked or felt quite like it. Still, the gameplay is basically the same as all the other games. It's a typical arcade game with your score up top and fast-paced gameplay. Once you die, you get back into the game fairly quickly. Just hit replay and you're in again. Let's talk about replayability a bit. I mean, you see me losing quite a lot. And this is one thing I think hampers replayability a bit, because the game is just super difficult. I hardly ever make it past the 7 mark in scores, and I die a lot, well, as you see, at the first wall already. And I think it has quite the frustration factor. At some point it's just, I don't want to play this anymore. I won't make it far anyway. And I think this really impacts replayability a lot, because people will get, well, bored by it maybe, and frustrated, really. And as I said before, there's basically no change in gameplay. It's always the same. It's always the walls, the cube, and the road. Very minimalistic, fits the game's theme, but still there could be a tad more variation in gameplay or other gameplay modes, or I don't know. It is easy to pick up though. So if you're on the go and you need a quick fix because you're bored waiting for the bus or something, fire up the game and you're basically just, well, you can play along basically instantaneously. So good game for on the run. And yeah, if you're very competitive, and or if you really want to beat the game, if you don't want to be satisfied by just leaving it alone, and yeah, if you want to be better every time, this game might be for you, because, well, it really tickles your nerve for self-improvement, I'd say. Okay, let's just one last round, and there's the wall. Okay, go back to the main menu. This is basically all there is to say about the game. It's very reduced, as I said before, but some people really might like it. If you want to take a look at it, it's free. It's in the Google Play Store. You will find the link to the Play Store in the video description, as well as a link to playandroid.com, where we have a article up with an in-depth review of the game with our score. And yeah, I hope you tune in next time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until then, I say goodbye.